You know, the great command was to go out and tell someone about this Jesus. He's coming back, and he's looking for a church without spot or wrinkle. People, you are the church. Go share the good news.
Good day, everyone. Today I am going to be interviewing two lovely people that I have really got to know very well through Regions Bank. And I'm going to be a part of just asking them some questions, so you might get some good information about what you can do with Regions Bank, okay? And you know, I always open up in prayer, so I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to introduce my guest, okay? Okay. Father in heaven, I thank you for this day. Lord, you have created this day for us to rejoice and to be glad in it. And Lord, I thank you for this opportunity to share with others about Regions Bank, because Lord, they have been a blessing to us. And I know they've been blessings to many other people. But right now, we're just going to be able to open up and share everything that God has put in my heart to ask questions for you to know a little bit more about Regions Bank down here in Pensacola, Florida. And thank you for tuning. And now I'm going to introduce my guests. I have Allie and I have Preston. And they are here. They're both here from Regions Bank. And they are going to talk a little bit. First, I'm going to ask Allie. Allie, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with the bank.
Absolutely. Thank you, Valerie. My full name is Alexandria Godfrey. I go by Allie. Mm-hmm. I've been with the bank for about 16, 17 years now, primarily in the retail division of the bank for many of those years, and then shifted into private banking and commercial lending as well prior to being in the private wealth division. More so, telling you just a little bit about myself, I have 3 children, 2 boys and a baby girl, and married to an individual that was kind of born and raised in the area, so very familiar with Pensacola, and this is really home, but I really grew up all over the world, spent some time in Europe, some time in Canada, Australia, all over, so a bit of a big story behind me.
Wow. That is so exciting, because I'm a person who loves to travel and been around the world too. So, Allie, we just appreciate you being here with me.
Thank you, Valerie.
And so now I'm going to introduce you to Preston. And I want Preston to go ahead and tell a little bit about himself and what he does with the bank with Regions.
Yes, thank you, Valerie, for inviting us to join you today. I'm Preston Forshee. I've been with Regions Bank for about 5.5 years now. I'm a former practicing tax attorney. Came over to the bank to join and help the private wealth team as a trust advisor. In that role, I help clients and beneficiaries take care of their families and provide in ways that they may not be able to provide for themselves.
Wow, that is good. That is good news. I have a list of questions, but you know, since we've moved here, my husband and I, you know, my husband has always been the financial, I don't know what your guru of making sure that all our money is taken care of in a way of sharing with our children and, you know, investing. So my husband does that. So, and I thought that this was a good idea to bring in Regions Bank to tell a little bit about what they do. And so I'm going to ask right now, Allie, can you tell me what type of service does Regions Wealth Management offer to their clients? What kind of service?
Absolutely, Valerie. So the scope of our private wealth platform is quite in-depth, as you can imagine. There are a lot of aspects that we assist our clients that are of high net worth starting with a wealth plan, and that's really where our team puts a lot of time and energy and focus on is that wealth planning piece and ensuring that we have a clear understanding of our clients' priorities and their financial goals and their goals as a whole, individually, but also their family dynamics, so that we can put our heads together, collaborate, and create a wealth plan that is versatile and that moves alongside our clients and their lives as things progress and things change, that we can leverage in our investment planning aspect and the management of assets when we strategize on a portfolio, and just kind of leaning into that wealth plan to ensure that what we're doing from a strategic aspect in a financial portfolio, that we're aligned with those original priorities and our clients' financial goals. So a lot of what we do leads back to that wealth plan. Within that plan, every client's different, every situation is unique. So there may be lending resources that we tap into, of course, conventional banking resources that we tap into for our clients' general banking needs. And then, it goes without saying, when you talk about a wealth management platform, there's, of course, very in-depth portfolio management that takes place, and a team of analysts behind us that help support our clients and help support us in the overall mission and goal of what we're trying to accomplish.
Wow. You guys getting that? This is good. Well, tell me, Preston, would you like to add something to what she just said, or you felt she had covered it all?
Thanks, Valerie. Yeah, Hallie covered most of it. Pretty much everything we do, we really try to take a holistic approach, Valerie. One of the things that we look at is how can we help families multi-generationally, not just at this moment in time, but take that wealth plan and take it out through their entire life. What does it look like? What does it look like at this moment? What happens after they pass? But also, what happens if somebody isn't able to take care of themselves?
That's right.
Whether that's the generation we're working with at that moment, or whether it's the generation down the line, and that's where the bank does a job about bringing in folks like myself who have been in that estate planning world before, because we sit down and we have conversations about that, and then we bring in outside advisors that really have other knowledge. But it starts here, and we try to be that quarterback for folks and for their families, so that we become a talking point or a calling point for them along the way.
Wow, Preston. Well, I know that when you say families and the next generation, you have had the opportunity to meet our sons, and so they have the opportunity to find out what's going on with the bank as well, and how they're included. And so I really appreciate what all you guys have done for us. And I especially really am excited about, the things that Regions Bank has helped me with throughout the years. So I am really grateful for you guys. And so now I just want to, I'm going to change it a little bit and ask you a question about how can people be aware of scams, that people are scamming people so much. What is the best way you could tell people, either one can answer this, of how to know when someone is trying to scam you, when you have your money in a certain area in the bank, or people call you and tell you this is going on and you need to do this and you need to do that. And then they take, I just even recall my aunt, she lives in Texas, and she was scammed and her money was gone out of the bank. It was gone. So explain, what are some of the ways that people can realize if they're being scammed before they lose their money?
Well, I can take the first part of that. I'm sure Preston may have something to add, but from general banking perspective, I think we all know, and just you talking about your aunt. Fraud is so prevalent and it's widespread, and there's so much of it out there that our clients and the general public is susceptible to. And so it is very important that we provide our clients with all the channels necessary to monitor their financial accounts and monitor their affairs, to be sure that everything that's going out is legitimate and that they're not at risk of losing any of their assets without their knowing or being aware of it. Now, in our world, we work so closely with clients. We sometimes make the phrase that we do life with our clients. and a lot of times that relates to fraud prevention.
Right.
There are so many instances where we have clients that some are a little bit more susceptible than others. I think about individuals that are susceptible to scam calling. And that's very prevalent right now, and just educating our clients on being careful when they're intercepting phone calls and they're intercepting different lines of communication that are asking them to click on links or asking them for verification of their social security number, or verification of even just the last four of your credit card, things like that, to just try to implement that red flag within our clients that knowledge is power.
Right.
So the more we can educate our clients and be in front of them and know what type of calls they're intercepting and know what their lifestyle really looks like on a day-to-day basis, it helps us be able to educate them a little bit more on what to look out for in some of the scams that are prevalent and out there.
Wow. And it's just I mean, I really on my phone, my home phone, I say right away, if you are someone asking anything about money or something like that, I just say, I will not return your call. And I will tell them on my recorder, and before anybody leave a message, they hang up, because it's a scammer. It's someone who's trying to scam me for money, and I think they're doing it more with the elderly. The more, my aunt, she's 84 years old, and well, they lost their funds. So she's very hurt about that, but she says God's going to get them.
Well,
God's got to get them.
And to that point, Valerie, I will tell you, the bank does a phenomenal job, in my opinion, of putting safeguards out there, different functions that are available to our clients to lock their debit cards, to just protect themselves, just added layers of protection that are out there. And again, going back to knowledge is power, our clients don't know what's out there unless we educate them and tell them. So that is something that, I definitely would caution clients and prospective clients to reach out to your banker and talk about the different functions and the different safeguards that are available to you to protect yourself.
Yeah, because that's what my husband, he told me not to use my debit card at all unless I'm going to the bank. Just use my debit for the bank. Don't give it out to any stores or anything like that. So I don't. And so far, thank you, Lord, I haven't had any problems. So, but that's good advice. That's really some good advice. So what, Preston, tell me, when should families consider an estate planning?
Yes,
when?
that's a great question, Miss Valerie. So one of the things that we like to talk about is estate planning. Estate plans and estate planning is fluid. It's always changing. That means that no matter where you are in your life, there's always a conversation that can be had about what your estate plan looks like and what it means for you. Whether you're a young family that may or may not have children yet, to a retiree who has grandchildren, great-grandchildren, there's always something that needs to be discussed. And when we think about estate plan, we think about ultra wealthy folks who have millions and millions of dollars, and that's what the media likes to kind of talk about. What we like to talk about with our clients, and what we like to talk about in the bank, is our families. What does the family need? Does the family need financial planning? Does the family need tax planning? Or is it incapacity planning? What happens if a family member, if the mom or dad gets to the point that they aren't able to make decisions for themselves, be them financial decisions or medical decisions? And who can step in and make those decisions for them? Who can help them make those decisions? What happens if children disagree on how to take care of parents? That's where it becomes important to have a plan and to put it down on paper.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, I know that's what we've done,
Yes, ma'am.
We have done that. And through with you guys, I said, you've given us some good information. I really appreciate it because, like you said, knowledge. Our people perish for the lack of knowledge. I mean, there's a scripture about that, and we need to know how to plan for the future, even though we don't know exactly what the future holds, but we can still make plans for those future dates, even though we don't know what the future is going to bring. But yet and still, we're doing things that our children can be covered, if something happened to my husband or I, that they are covered. My husband, there's a scripture that talks about, that the father will make an inheritance for his children. And I think that's good for anyone who is seeking to know what to do with their money situation, whatever their money situation, and how they can plan it out for the future for their children and grandchildren. I'm just so excited, you guys. I am interviewing Allie and Preston right here from Regions Bank. I'm here in this big, beautiful building, and I am so excited that we are sharing with you, so we can encourage you to do better planning for your future, for you and your children, your loved ones, And so I got a couple more questions, and I will ask them a couple more questions, but yet and still, I'm just saying, this is knowledge, people. This is knowledge for you to start making plans, And I will have up on the screen later the phone number, how you can reach them, and it will be up on my screen, and how you can get in touch and get more information, because information is knowledge, okay? All right, I have another question. So one of the other questions I have for you is, who should be involved in the state of planning? Your attorney or your tax advisor, financial advisor? Who should be part of that, of when you're making those plans, as we were talking about? So, one of you?
I think that I'll take that one. That it varies depending on the client. It varies depending on the person as to how many people need to be involved, who needs to be involved, and it's a personal decision in a lot of ways. One of the things that we like to work with families on, or clients on, is sitting down and finding the right match for them, helping them connect with different attorneys depending on their personalities and their situations. There's a variety of folks who might fit with them, and so we've given them recommendations and let them choose who fits with them. We can't draft documents, so at the end of the day, we do try to help them find an attorney if they don't already have them, and then we work with that attorney to see how it fits with both the financial plan and their overall plan that they've discussed with us. Now, you asked about families and accountants. We always try to talk to accountants or tax advisors, tax preparers, when the clients have those, and recommend that they seek tax advice as well along the way. But families, that's a very personal piece. We work with some families who don't want their children knowing anything at all. We work with some families who want their children to meet us, to understand who we are, and we love that. We really value those times. You mentioned the fact that we got to meet your children. I think I've met 3 of your 4 boys, and it's always fun when they get to come and see us and join us in conversations, because what that does is it builds a relationship for us with them. So the first time they're calling us, the first time they're sitting down with us, is not in a time of despair or mourning
Yes.
or insecurity.
Yes.
We've built that trust. We've built that relationship, so they can pick up the phone and they can call us and they can say, "Hey, Preston, Mom and Dad have X, Y, and Z going on. What do we need to do about it?" It's not like, "Hey, this is Charles. We've never met before, but
Yeah.
it works differently," and we appreciate that. Thank you.
I really thank you both here. I'm just so excited that we're getting to share, because like we said, information is knowledge, and then you know what to do with what they're telling and sharing. And like I said, I recommend Regions Bank. I recommend Regions Bank. They have done so much for us, and I'm just excited about. It's not just a business. It's a family matter. That they are willing to work with us, with our family, to keep us encouraged, to keep us with knowledge of knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And I'm saying you need to find your place, but I recommend Regions Bank, okay? I got another 1 or 2 more questions before we close this out, but I'm saying to you, information is knowledge, and that's what we're giving you, information, so you can plan better. All right, Allie, I have a question here. What advice would you recommend for a young investor? One day hope to purchase a home or setting up a retirement fund. What do you recommend?
Absolutely. That is a great question, Valerie, and a reality for so many looking ahead at their future. So that really does trace back to that overall wealth plan, and getting to understand what your goals are and creating goals for yourself. And, if one of your goals is to purchase a home or to start investing in your retirement, although that may be years and years down the road, it's never too late. It's never too late to start sitting down and going through those numbers and crunching those numbers and really putting together a plan that's realistic and attainable and something that is measurable, that you can track as time goes on, and you can have moments in time where you measure the success of the plan and you pivot as you need to. If you're not heading in the right direction or you're not going to achieve the goal by a certain time that you've set forth for yourself, then it's time to pivot and it's time to redirect and realign some expenses or your budget or whatever the case may be that allows you to achieve that success. So again, it kind of goes back to that plan, whether it's a wealth plan or just a hard financial data plan. But having a plan is first and foremost and is the key to anyone's success. And you'll hear us, the more we talk and throughout this interview, you'll hear us referring to this wealth plan and planning as a whole as such a key aspect of not only wealth management, but financial management as a whole. So.
All right. I'm, like I said, this is so good information because a lot of people just don't know what to do or don't look for the advice to how until it's too late, and then they say it's a commercial, I woulda, shoulda, coulda, but this is the time for people to plan, because we don't know what the future holds. So we're seeing, but we know who holds the future is God. We know who holds the future is God. But yet and still, we got to be diligently in taking care of our families, and how to go about doing that. And so I am glad that I have a guru husband who, when I asked him a question, I said, "Oh, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know." But yet and still, I'm learning just because I'm sitting here with you guys, and I appreciate this so much because we have done so many things in our life, my husband and I. But like I said, he has always been the financial guru of taking care of our finances in our home and our children and making plans for our grandchildren. It's good. And coming to Regions, you have really inspired us. And we're keeping in touch with you, and I appreciate that so much. My last question, because my time is running out, but my last question I'm going to ask here is something about the cryptocurrency. What advice do you give your clients regarding cryptocurrency investment? The cryptocurrency investment? Do either one of you want to relate to that?
So in our world and in private wealth management here at Regions, we have such a widespread team of resources and analysts that their sole responsibility is to be familiar and be up to speed with what's going on in the economy, what the market is doing, and to be forward thinking to our best ability. And like I said, there's a slew of analysts that we have that it's really their primary sole responsibility to be on top of things like crypto, hot topics. AI is something that comes up a lot in discussion right now in this environment, and we really, as the trust advisor and the wealth advisor on our clients' teams, we really lean into the knowledge that our analysts bring to the table and lean into the facts that are out there, historical data as well, but also that region's best thinking, if you will, when we're looking forward at the potentials of what the future might hold. Yes. Preston, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, Allie is spot on. We as the trust advisor and wealth advisor bring our expertise, and we try to rely on the team method here at Regions Private Wealth to bring those other pieces together. That's what I think makes us unique. Is we're not one individual trying to help with a plan. We're a group of individuals who all have certain strengths, and we bring all those people to the table with our clients and really try to make their plan make sense and make their plan interact with their goals and their priorities in the best, most efficient manner.
Well, thank you so much. Our time has run out, but I tell you, I'll have the number on the screen here in a few minutes, and if you want to get in touch with Allie or Preston right here at Regions Bank, they will be happy to talk with you or your family or whatever you're trying to do, and to encourage you to look for answers, because that's the key to your success of getting things done. Again, I want to thank Allie and I want to thank Preston for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I wish we had some more time, but I will plan to have you back again, okay?
Thank you, Valerie.
All right.
Thank you so much for having us. Yes, it was a pleasure. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.